Hello. So we recently added Lua scripting to RetroSketch. So I kind of want to show how you can do Lua scripting to automate your pixel art drawing. So inside of Steam, you can right-click on this and go to Properties, and then Install Files, and then Browse. And that'll open up the installation folder for Steam, and you'll see a plugins folder in there, and two API files. Now, maybe in the next update or by the time you see this video, there's probably going to be a menu option inside of RetroSketch itself where you can just click on View, Plugins, Engine Plugins, or something like that, and it will take you straight to this folder so you don't have to do all this. I just wanted to do a quick cut in here to say that I did add that menu option. It's under View, Engine Plugins. When you select that, it'll open up the engine plugins. But if it doesn't open or you have any errors or problems with that, the method I just described works as well. Madness. But yeah, for now you want to take these two API files and you want to just copy them into the folder you're going to work in. We're not going to include these API files in our script. We're just going to use them so that something like Visual Studio Code or C-Line or whatever editor you're using will recognize the built-in functions for the engine. Okay, so I have a project folder here called RS Lua Demo. It's on my desktop, and I just popped those two API files in, and you can see there's two. There's an engine API, ENG API, which will have a list of engine functions, mostly related to UI stuff. This is so you can draw custom UI inside of RetroSketch using Lua, so you can control how your plugin works. We're not actually going to be using any UI right now. We're just going to be doing a code demo from the RetroSketch API. And inside of the RetroSketch API, there are some utility functions for getting colors, querying stuff about the project, and drawing stuff on the screen. Oh, this is drawing stuff on the screen. And manipulating a project, adding layers, adding canvases, all that kind of stuff. So if you forget what functions exist, you can hop on over into this file and take a look, and it's all documented here. So I'm going to add a new file called spin.lua, and notice that I'm not importing either of these, but I'm going to use some of the functions within them. But before we program, we should probably specify here what it is we are trying to program. So opening up RetroSketch here, I'm going to just open a 16 by 16. Now, one of the things that you probably want to do inside of pixel art is automate things. Let's imagine that you had like a rope and you wanted the rope to automatically move and you didn't want to have to hand draw this thing moving. Or if you had like a little bug that you wanted to move around randomly to make it look kind of organic so you don't have to hand animate every single frame. So a lot of that tedious stuff. So I'm going to show you one tedious thing that we could do. We could say create a spinner where we have this stick and the stick spins in a circle. So typically I would come in here, I would draw my stick, and then I go to the next frame, and then I would draw the next stick here, one pixel off to the left, and then I go to the next frame, 1, 2, 3, then go down here, 1, 2, 3. And I would just keep doing that until I get it all the way across. And I could duplicate canvases and then flip this once I get halfway, and then kind of manually do all that stuff. And then once it gets all the way to this side, we're going to then go down. So it's going to be over here, and then the next frame we're going to go down to here, and it's going to spin all the way around until it spins in a circle. So that's crazy to have to manually do all the time. So we're going to create a script that automatically creates this spinner for us. So we'll start off by getting the project dimensions, because notice we're going from corner to corner. So local WH is equal to RS project dimensions. Notice we have the IntelliSense here showing us, and it tells us that it takes in an app and it returns a width and a height. So we say app, which is a built-in global variable. That's the RetroSketch app. And then we want to figure out how many canvases we need, because notice we're going one pixel at a time to the right across the top. So we're going to say local add canvases is equal to the width plus the height minus rs canvas count app minus 2. So we're going across the top to draw our line, and then we're going across or from the top to the bottom to draw our next line. So we need the width plus the height in canvases. That's how many canvases we need. So for a 16 by 16, we'll need a 32. But if there are already canvases created, say you've already made a few, and you just want to go across the whole thing here, we're going to subtract the canvases that already exist. And typically when you start RetroSketch, there's one canvas already there. So this is going to be 32 minus 1 because we already have one. And then we're going to do minus 2 at the end because when we draw from corner to corner, there's going to be a point where there's already the first frame is going to overlap with the last frame if we were to just do 32 by 32. And then the middle frame is going to overlap with itself. So you'll see like it'll start spinning, and then it'll be a small pause, and then it'll spin, and then it'll be a small pause, spin, small pause. And we don't want that small pause. We want it to be smooth. So I'm going to do minus 2 here. You can remove the minus 2 in your example if you're interested in seeing what I'm talking about. I know it's hard to explain in words. It's a very visual thing. So we're going to do a for loop through the width of, we're going across the, oh sorry, no, we're not going across the width. First we're creating the canvases. We got to create all those canvases. This is how many we're adding. We're going to say rs add canvas app, and this will add that canvas, those canvases that we need. So this will preload all of those canvases at the bottom. Then we're going to get the current color, because I want to color with the same color I've selected. So if I selected blue, I want all the sticks to be blue. So whatever I picked in the color picker is what I'm going to use. So I need to get what color is currently active, and I'll get that with the rs canvas color. And then we'll do local canvas ID is equal to 1. So we're going to start at the first canvas. This is Lua, so it starts at 1, not 0. And then we're going to say for x is equal to 1, the width minus 1, 1, do. Okay, so again, Lua, so we start at 1, and we're doing with minus 1 because we're starting at 1, and we don't want to go beyond it. And then instead of here, we're going to select the canvas we're interested in drawing into. So rs select canvas. We're going to select the canvas ID, which is the one we started with here, canvas ID. And then we're going to say rs draw line. We're going to draw a line from the top left corner, which is going to be, or from wherever we are at the top on the x-axis, at the top. And then we are going to draw to the opposite corner, which is going to be the width minus x minus 1, and the bottom, which is going to be the height of the canvas, so somewhere down at the bottom. And then we want to pass in the color that we're drawing with here. And then lastly, we want to go to the next canvas, so canvas ID equals canvas ID plus 1. Now we've drawn across the top, the x-axis, and now we need to draw down the y-axis. So it's essentially the same thing. I could duplicate this, not the canvas ID one. Change this to y. Well, Visual Studio, let me just do this. Visual Studio Code. Alright, cool, it didn't replace the other one. So I've changed that to y. Actually, it doesn't matter, I gotta redo this anyway. So we're going down to the height, so we're essentially inverting. Wherever it was x, we're putting y, and wherever it was width, we're putting height. And also we need to change our position. So we want to say start at 1 on the x, because we're not moving along the x, we're just moving down the y-axis. And this is kind of the opposite of the one we did up here, the width minus x. It's the same kind of thing. It's going to be the height minus the y minus 1. And then w and y. So it looks kind of like it's inverted, where x was here, y is here. So we're going across the top, then down the right, and we're drawing lines to the other side of the canvas. And with that, we're pretty much done with this script. This should create all our canvases and then plot our lines. So let's check it out. Okay, So here I have the file I'm working on, the spin.lua. So I'm going to create a 16 by 16, and I'm going to just drop this file in here. And what you'll notice is that it went through and it created all those canvases down there. So now we can see what the animation looks like. We can speed it up here. It's just a spinner. Very nice. So each one of these canvases are created. They each have their own individual layers, and you can see it just kind of goes through the gambit there. So yeah, if that's basically it for basic scripting example. We'll do some UI examples a little bit later, but this should get you started on programming in Lua, some plugins. Some of the things in the future I'll probably do is we'll probably have when you drop Lua files in, we'll probably give a prompt on if you want to install it or not, and if you install it, it will just copy it into the plugins folder, not in your user data folder or whatever, wherever it's at, basically where your projects are. It'll copy it in a plugins folder, and then we'll list the plugins up here at the top that you can scroll through, and that should make it easy for you to reuse plugins that you create or others create. So cool. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any feedback, let us know. You can always click on help and then go to feedback and send us some feedback, or you can go to contact and send me a message there. Cool. Thanks. I'll see you later.